Goal of the 9-yard line. Hamilton keeps it. Touchdown.
It's every day that we thank God for every minute of every day. Welcome to In the Huddle with Joe Ham. I'm your boy, Ryan Stewart, co-hosting today. But my right-hand man, the 1999 Heisman runner-up, the South Carolina Hall of Famer, the Georgia Hall of Famer. You might be a Hall of Famer in California. Joe Ham is in the building with your boy, One Life Stew. What up, Joe?
Man, what's up, brother? What's up? Not only just because of that highlight that I just saw, or highlights that I just saw, but you know, man, it's not a better or a greater feeling than to realize, which I'm realizing. I'm speaking for me. I've heard about it, but I'm speaking for me. Man, I am a bad man in Jesus Christ. Hey, listen. Hey, I'm a bad man. It's coming even more and more and more to me, Stu Dog. And boy, when I could really get into that suit, the way I look in the mirror, and just like I was reading this morning, when I look in the mirror and I see Jesus Christ, and that's who I am. If I could tell a man, say, hey, who are you? He said, hey, listen, I'm Joseph Fitzgerald Hamilton, but I am Jesus Christ too. I have that power. I'm telling you, I got that revelation this morning, man, Stu, and I had to share that, brother, because you are too, brother. You are a bad man in Christ.
Listen, I'm gonna let the viewers that's watching the Joe in the Huddle with Joe Ham, I'm gonna let them know a little something right now. Joe and I, even before we started doing this podcast, Joe and I would speak once or twice a week, okay?
Right.
And more times than not, every time we spoke, y'all, the conversations was about something biblical, something that somebody heard in church, or some word, some prophetic word that had come to one of us. We talk sports, and we talk sports a lot, but dare I say that we probably talk about the Most High more than anything else, Joe? For real.
Oh, no, that is for real. Facts. All right.
Facts.
And you know what?
And
you know what, Stu? And I call it this. We were talking to each other in encouragement. That's what I remember. That's what I remember. Hey, man, Joe, did you hear this? Hey, guess what? I got this. Hey, Stu, man, I had to call you for a brief second. I know you with the kids. I know you got to go. But let me tell you what I read or heard today. And we encouraged each other like, hey, man, you're a bad man. You're an overcomer. And that's on my heart this morning, man, or today, because Stu, I'm feeling that too, and that's not in a braggadocious way. So if somebody asks me, and the reason why I say it's not in a braggadocious way, because somebody were to ask me right now, hey, Ham, why are you feeling this way? I would tell them exactly why. Jesus, man, is alive. So ain't no big deal, man. It's all good, brother.
It is all good, man. It is all good. In the Huddle with Joe Ham, I'm your boy, Ryan Stewart. We're going to get to some sports in a second. I'm going to tell one more quick story.
Oh, absolutely. We got a lot, man.
We're not going to rock too long tonight, y'all.
Hey, just remember, man,
we time to get in. I see some people in the chat. We'll start some chat and read some chat. I promise tonight we'll do all that. But I'm gonna tell one more quick story. But what were you gonna say before I tell my story?
Well, just remember, Stu, we chopping it up. That's all.
We
have time for. We are chopping it up.
We got time.
Yes.
Okay. Shouts out to Loose Neck, my man Loose Neck Sai. He wanted to tell the boys hello. Good evening, Ryan and Joe. Good evening to you, Loose Neck. Appreciate you here, man. Buster, not Buster. I'm gonna say Boosa. That's what I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess Boosa.
Or Buster.
Boosa said Buster. That's what it is. That's what it is. Buster says, hello, y'all. What up, Buster? Thank you for pulling up, man. Joe, straight from Moco. My cousin himself, the great Fly Ty, says, what's happening, folks? What up, cuz? Good to see you.
Yeah, that's hometown blood right there. That's blood.
Every single Wednesday at 9 o'clock, we are right here. Before we get to these sports, Joe and I, when I was living in Atlanta, we spent a lot of time together. My house was centrally located in an area where Joe could drive by if he was going to the mall or going to work or going to work out or headed home. You know, he would have to stop by. So he would often just stop by, and we would just talk and play some video games. We got off Madden years ago and was playing FIFA real hard. Soccer. And it dawned on me while we were talking sports, watching sports, and playing sports on the game, Joseph Fitzgerald Hamilton doesn't really know how dope he is or was as a player. Y'all listen to me for a second. Y'all listen to me. So I said, hey, Joe, real quick, man. You got recruited by so. Didn't Bill Kenny from Penn State recruit you? Didn't Danny Smith from... Hey, man, didn't you do so? And we kept playing the game and talking, you know. It had been 2 or 3 games now where every 10 or 15 minutes, I would bring up a different accolade of one Joseph Hamilton. I paused the game, looked at that cat. I said, Joe, do you know how Mickey bad you was as a player? Mm-hmm. Joe looked at me like, man, what are you talking about? And when he said that, he was really being genuine and honest. He just didn't really see the Joe Ham that I saw when I was looking at him as a person and as a player. Dude, you were freaking incredible. And as good as you were in college, as good as you were in college, if they would have been blessed to see you your junior and senior year of high school with total command of that offense down there on the football field and the basketball field, it would blow their mind, Joe. It really would.
Yeah, and still, shout out to Alvin, South Carolina. Shout out to the low country of South Carolina. Mom, dad. That's where it all comes from. And it's very, very simple, Stu. And it's very common to us down there. All we did was play ball. All right, so that's why it shook me, and all these things. You're looking back at it. I am grateful. Yes, I know exactly what was accomplished, but I'm like, man, all we did was set up to play ball. It wasn't no accolade involved. We played ball, and boy, we left it out there, and that's why I'm so grateful, and even more grateful now. All that was for a reason, big man. All that was for a reason. The accolades, the trials, the tribulations, the lessons. Hey, man, I'm getting in that shoe right now, brother. And sports is an avenue.
Sports is an avenue, man. Sports is an avenue. It's a common denominator. It's something that people that don't have the same religion or believe in the same politics, we can still get down with each other when it comes to sports, whether we're for the same team or against the team. I mean, it's the ultimate common denominator, and it's a true blessing, and we're blessed to be able to do it, man. Speaking of doing that, we'll jump into it right now. It's a beautiful Wednesday night. There is a 2 Live Stews experience tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Check us out on the web, YouTube, Facebook. Y'all know where we'll be at, 7 a.m., 2 Live Stews, YouTube.com. Every Wednesday, 9 o'clock. Every Wednesday, 7 o'clock, the No Show. So we're here, man. It's what we're doing. The Super Bowl is not this week. It's next week. I have a question for you. As a player and as a fan, what's better? Do you like this 2-week wait to give the teams 2 weeks, give them a little bit of time to get some more health, give them more time to study and prepare? Or would you rather the Super Bowl be the week right after the NFC AFC Championship?
I would rather, Stu, as a player, get 2 weeks off, obviously, to get ultimate health, to be healthy, to be just like I'm going into training camp. It's almost one of those things where you're saying that it's the preseason or it's the beginning of the season with how fresh you should be. Unless you have a broken bone, you should be fresh. And I'll surprise you with this, Stu. Even as a fan, I would like 2 weeks. I know the anticipation. I know the anticipation. We want our football right away, and we don't want to come down this whole week because such great games on championship weekend. But the reason why, as a fan, I'm a fan through and through. Yeah, I want those guys to be prepared. Yeah. I want Nick Sirianni. I want the offensive coordinator Kellen Moore and defensive Vic Fangio and everybody, Spagnuolo from the other side, to be very prepared. I want the players to be healthy, and everybody need that week to get where it is as a fan, and then show us your best game. That's my whole point. Show us your best game on Super Bowl Sunday, that there weren't no excuses. There weren't no distractions. You had enough time off. You can get the ticket sales ready to rumble. All those type things, you have enough time and dig into your playbook and kind of digest the game plan your coaches are prepared for you.
In the Huddle with Joe Ham, I'm your boy, One Live Stew, Ryan Stewart. With the Chiefs, we're watching, Joe, hands down, a real, true freaking dynasty unfold right in front of our very own eyes. All right. There's a few essentials when it comes to becoming a dynasty. Do you agree that the Chiefs do have and are on the way to a real complete dynasty right now? And talk about some of those essentials that it takes to have a dynasty when you're becoming one, like Kansas City damn well are right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're right there, and there's no question about it. And I thought about that at length today because I don't want to use that word dynasty loosely. It's only been a handful, I should say, a handful of true dynasties, and I want to live in it. I want to live in it. I don't want to take it for granted because for some reason, while I'm not a Patriots fan, Stu, I didn't appreciate what they were doing. I watched it. I somewhat hated. Give me another team in there. The Tom Brady effect. And I know perfection. I know they work.
I want to see somebody else. I'm tired of this.
Blaming them for Spygate and Deflategate and doing all those type things just because they were building a dynasty. So I didn't really appreciate it. I didn't really do it as a historian of sports, so to speak. Some of us missed Michael Jordan, what they were doing, historic three-peat twice in an 8-year span. But when you look at it in detail, three things are in common to me, Stu, about dynasties. Number one, great owner. Great owner. I'm not talking about something missing.
It starts at the freaking top, man.
Great owner that will do anything to sign great players, players with character, building a culture, and borderline, straddle the fence every now and then, ruffle some feathers. The set way. Number two, in my opinion, has got to be a quarterback. And I'm not a quarterback, a Hall of Fame quarterback. Now, that's high bars. That's a high standard. But I'm telling you, we're talking about something that is very rarely done. Building a dynasty. I mean, I can think of definitely the Pittsburgh Steelers with Mean Joe Green or the Steel Curtain. Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco.
I got a question for your ass when you get done. I got a question for you.
Yeah. So you need a stout owner. I mean, a longevity owner that has his policy, the way they're going to do things in place. You need a outstanding Hall of Fame quarterback, and you need an outstanding Hall of Fame coach. Essentials. Those are three non-negotiable. You can't put or you can't try to take any of those things out or put anything into those three things if you even wanted to, because you can throw me any dynasty or peak or heading towards a dynasty. I can show you an elite owner, a Hall of Fame head coach, and a Hall of Fame quarterback. There's no doubt about it. Without those, I don't think you can be in the position of what Patrick Mahomes is embarking on, which they're going to win 3 straight. I don't think there's a way around that, having those 3 essentials.
Okay. I think Patrick Mahomes is different. In the past, I have said that Joe Montana was my favorite quarterback of all time.
Same here.
Tom Brady came along, and I'm like, well, this Mickey Ficky's got 7 Super Bowls. I mean,
yes,
there was 10 to 12 years where it was Tom Brady and the Patriots, period. And now we've got Patrick Mahomes. I am willing to put my testicles on the chopping block right now to say that Patrick Mahomes is already a better quarterback than Tom Brady was. That's just me. But based upon what you just said before we move on in today's show, think about this, please. Is it the quarterback that you mentioned that's so important? Or is it the assets that the quarterback has? Because if you mentioned a Hall of Fame quarterback to me, I will tell you where a good offensive line was, where there's a bomb-ass receiver, and where there's a dope running back and or tight end on the same team. Question is it the quarterback or the assets a quarterback has?
It's the quarterback. It's the quarterback. That's a really interesting game to play. I do not take that for granted, Stu. That's spot on. But no, it doesn't hold any weight because, again, you have to have a quarterback to make that go. We've seen all-world wide receivers and no quarterbacks. We've seen some other things, and the quarterback does not get it done. I mean, the lack of quarterback does not allow you to get it done. That's just the bottom line. I mean, and I'm talking a Hall of Fame quarterback. Hall of Fame. So you're going to tell me what Hall of Fame running back, what Hall of Fame pass receiver that Tom Brady played with?
All right, watch this.
Tom Brady didn't have a lot of names.
Time out. Before you get to Tom Brady, name me a quarterback that you think is a great.
Joe Montana.
Rice. Roger Craig.
Yes.
Mike Singletary on that defense. Ronnie Lott in that secondary. Dwight Clark at tight end. Name me another great, Joel. Name me another great.
Troy Aikman.
Emmitt Smith. Best offensive line for a decade. Moose Johnson. Or Michael Irvin. Deion Sanders. Name me another great, Joel. Come on.
Pittsburgh.
Name me
We're talking
great.
about Dynasty. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Lynn Swann. Franco Harris. Jerome Bettis. When it was Roethlisberger. Hines Ward. Antonio Brown. Is it the quarterback, Joe, or is it the quarterback's assets?
Well, you can't take
about.
Well, there's no way you can take those quarterbacks' asset away from that quarterback being great. I love your point. There's no way you can take that away. But there's no doubting any of those assets that you named, which are valuable, that they were the reason why that quarterback was so great. I think Joe Montana can stand on his own. I think Troy Aikman can stand on his own. You know,
all the guys you named.
Only I might be skeptical about a little bit is, maybe, Terry Bradshaw, just because of the under 50% passing and some of those things. But I have to give him credit for he won and he called his plays.
He win? How many
he
did
won?
He win?
Four.
He won 4 of them, Joe. I mean,
yeah.
and also on the lines of a Terry Bradshaw, I'll put an Eli Manning along the same lines because everybody wants to question Eli, but I stopped him in their tracks like, y'all got to respect him. He got 2 Super Bowls, and in both of those Super Bowls, Eli threw passes that really mattered down the field for them to get wins.
Yeah, Eli, man, I can't wait till we can get into this. If he makes the ballot, I think he's on the ballot for this year, whether he makes the Hall of Fame or not. That's a really good topic for you and I, Stu, because I don't think those 2 Super Bowls are enough, really, when you're setting the standard as far as Hall of Fame type quarterbacks. It's something has to be into the ingredients of how do you look? How does it look? Stats have to matter at some point in time. Stats are not the all be all. No. I know they can be skewed, but 2 Super Bowls can't trump everything.
When they get the stats, Eli had a Tiki Barber. Eli had a Plaxico. Eli had a Michael Strahan. So the quarterback, and I know this is a tough conversation for a quarterback to have. And I see what you're saying, and I know how important they are. If you've got a bad one, your team can't do nothing. But typically when you've got a great one or a really good one, they've got assets on the other end of their passes and their handoffs. They've got an O-line that's blocking and giving them protection on a 3-step, 5-step, 7-step drop. They got a defense that gets the ball back and flips the field for them once or twice in a ball game. And all of that stuff is very different variables in each equation of each quarterback, in my opinion.
The only Super Bowl I can remember recently that a quarterback wasn't as valuable.
And I'm sorry, Joe. This is In the Huddle with Joe Ham. I'm your boy Ryan Stewart, breaking some sports down with Joe. Go ahead, Joe. Keep on.
The only thing about the quarterback that hadn't shown up with weapons or a lot of weapons, I can't really remember. Only could be Seattle when Russell Wilson and those guys wanted with Marshawn Lynch, beast mode in the backfield, but. Every Super Bowl that we look at, man, they have talent around the quarterback. I mean, that's a given. So that's why I'm looking at, head coach. I mean, your Hall of Famers, man. I mean, you can have weapons. It's Hall of Famers. These guys, that's why it's a dynasty. You're not going to build a dynasty. And correct me if I led you astray a little bit. You're not going to build a dynasty just for the Hall of Fame quarterback.
It wasn't.
I'm talking all those things in place.
Joe, it was not Trent Dilfer in the Baltimore offense, even though they had a decent set of players and assets around Dilfer. It wasn't Trent. Joe, it was not Brad Johnson.
Yes.
Down in Tampa where you was. It
Yes.
was not Brad Johnson. It was the pieces around said player. Sean King had said players.
Yes.
Down there in Tampa.
But you know what, Stu? Amen. And that's the point I'm making. That is the point I'm making, because those teams, they don't have what is essential, or what if they're lacking one thing that is essential of building a dynasty. They did not have a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah, they did not have a Hall of Fame quarterback. So therefore, that Tampa Bay Bucks run and the Baltimore Ravens, those guys is not dynasty. I mean, yeah, it's not. They're not dynasties. Right. It's very specific in that dynasty level, which is Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame type owner, and a Hall of Fame quarterback.
See, the Heisman, the run up to the Heisman just got me straight. And what I hate was, let me see, we've been on for 20 minutes now. What I hate is I had a very compelling 10-minute run just now, and then the last 30 seconds, I was my own demise. When I brought up Brad Johnson and Trent Dilfer, you was like, see what I'm saying? Those were a couple quick things I had no intentions of even doing, Joe, but in conversation, those things just came up, man. In the Huddle with Joe Ham. With a Super Bowl win, we'll stay on this quarterback theme for a second. Jalen Hurts will find himself possibly in a position to bury the myth about him being a running quarterback. Give me your thoughts on Hurts. Give me your thoughts on him being a running quarterback or an athletic quarterback. Give me your thoughts on if he's a passer.
I love this one. I love my stance, my take. My unbiased just opinion on this, because I love pocket passes. I love quarterbacks that can move the football. I tell my son Skylar all the time, Stu, as he plays quarterback. He's a rising senior. I said, hey man, it doesn't matter what your stats are at the beginning or the end of the game. It doesn't matter if you throw 2 touchdowns, run 1, what have you. Did you win? When you were in there with your reps, did you lead your team to a field goal or a touchdown? You're the quarterback. You're going to get credit for winning. So, yeah, what Jalen Hurts is going to do is not going to say that, oh, boy, see, I can pass. I'm a pocket passer. No. He's going to prove to the world and young athletes that doesn't have the greatest arm or the best accuracy that you can be a running quarterback and get it done. A running quarterback and get it done. We've had some mobile quarterbacks, athletic quarterbacks, run around type quarterbacks. I go all the way back to Russell Wilson. He's the last athletic, somewhat dual threat quarterback that has won the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson, I think, had maybe short of 600 yards that year scrambling, but they weren't design runs. They weren't quarterback draws. They weren't, zone read where I want you to take it outside. 18 sweep and 19 sweep where the quarterback just goes around the right and the left edge. They weren't doing those type things. Now Jalen Hurts, how do I see him as a passer? I see him as a running quarterback. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I can't explain it in any other way. He's a better runner than he is a passer. He's developing to get into a better passer, but right now he can still work on his accuracy, his touch on the football, throwing guys open, and that'll come. But when he is playing well, he's carrying that ball 15 times, 6 to 7 of those things are designed runs because of his athletic ability, and then he's going to escape the pocket and hurt you in 4th down a little bit. And I can't wait till the day that he can pull up that trophy as a running quarterback. There should be no dispute to me about whether Jalen Hurts at this moment in his career is a running quarterback or a passing type quarterback at all.
I asked the question. I really appreciate and understand your answer in totality. But all I need to see when people question the passing ability of Jalen Hurts is the 4th and 5 that he had to complete when they threw a go route to A.J. Brown on the left side of the field. If you're not a good passer, your coach is not going to let you throw that play on 4th and 5. That was a one-man route, one-on-one coverage, and the ball had to be caught. He threw it 25 yards down the field to complete the pass. That says all I need to see about his ability to pass the ball.
And you know what, Stu? You are my man, Blue, and I love it. I love it. But I have to say this just for the viewers and just a little insight, and that's specifically. But that's just on the surface. That's what people are saying about Jalen Hurts as a passer of the football. Everything you just said, absolutely true. But anybody should be able to do that. That's not hard. That wasn't an amazing. That's not. But that's not something that's going to put anybody, including you, on the scale and say just because he made a press coverage, put it on the outside. Pat and go. We call those a pat and go type throws, to where all you have to do is boom, boom, boom off the line, beat your press coverage, and throw it to a spot, which you got to make that throw. But that's an easy throw. When we talk about passing the football, Stu, we're talking about those curl routes, those dig routes where our guys moving.
That's a fourth and 5. That if you don't complete it, you're giving the ball back to your opponent on the 45-yard line, on their 45. They get a first down, they can kick a damn field goal.
That's called clutch.
That's a huge play.
Stu, please, I am agreeing with what you're saying. Huge play, but that throw doesn't make anybody and all of a sudden great passer of the football. That's just a fade route. That's a good old-fashioned fade route.
He's an NFL quarterback. He should complete that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Buster,
Yes.
Buster says Joe Gibbs with 3 different quarterbacks. That's huge. I understand what you're saying, Buster. My man Romero says Kelly Marino had assets and couldn't get it done. So the quarterbacks that do get it done are usually great. Yeah, but we're not going to take away from the greatness of Jim Kelly and or Dan Marino. They can only be one winner of a Super Bowl every year, and sometimes the best players just don't get that opportunity. It's a team metric. It's a team sport.
Maybe I have to rebuttal a little bit because. Thank you very much. Maybe I have to rebuttal a little bit when you say did they check all the criteria? Marv Levy, Hall of Fame head coach. Yep. What about the Bills ownership? Was that top notch?
It was.
I wouldn't say
Herman
that.
Thomas, Jim Kelly. They had players.
They had players, and they had a Hall of Fame.
Andre Reed.
No, I understand that they had a Hall of Fame coach, a Hall of Fame quarterback, which are the
receiver.
Did they have a Hall of Fame ownership though? That's number one, ownership, because that's not a dynasty. Would you say the Washington Redskins are they a dynasty? Were they a dynasty?
Buffalo can't be a dynasty because they hadn't won a championship.
No.
Dynasty comes with multiple rings.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I started off by this whole conversation. That there are essential ingredients to being a dynasty. That's it. Patriots, Steelers, Cowboys teetering. The Green Bay Packers with Bart Starr.
Yeah,
there are very few. The Patriots.
And now Kansas City, which is how this whole thing started. This is where the conversation started. Kansas City.
Yes. And then a lot of people would say now Patrick Mahomes, that's only playing with only one Hall of Fame player on offense, and Travis Kelce. So he's really getting it done.
Hey man, it's your boy One Last Two, Ron Stewart. Looking forward to a Thursday morning Two Last Two's experience with my brother Doug. Doug will be in the building, but right now it is in the huddle with Joe Ham. This is a big week, Joe, when it comes to college football players. This is Senior Bowl week. All right. We got college seniors having their first job interview at Senior Bowl this week. Opportunity to raise their stock, opportunity to drop their stock, opportunity to get drafted high, opportunity to be a free agent. Okay. As a player, what are you trying to accomplish this week when it comes to on the field and in the meeting room with these coaches and these teams?
It's a job interview. Put the agent stuff around. Put it behind you. Put the hoopla behind you. Where I'm going to get drafted. What team do I want to get drafted by? Put that behind you. I remember when I went to the Senior Bowl, I had a lot to try to prove. I wasn't a proven commodity at all. Questioning my size, whether you're able to hit that dig route on time with not a lot of floating on it, a line drive type of ball. Are you able to zip it through cold weather? Gripping the ball as far as your hand size big enough. Those are some things on the surface they look at the combine and at the Senior Bowl. But why I like the term job interviews, Stu, everybody's watching. You got now guys are going down to the Senior Bowl and saying they're not even practicing. I don't fault that at all. Why? Because there are other things you can do to impress ownership, to impress general managers. You can still show up to meetings. You can take notes. I mean, you can wear your pants the way it needs to be. Or your pants need to be worn. Well, I take a little, food for thought from you. When I first started a job that I started, you said, "Hey, man, every now and then, don't mind coming, to work with a slacks or shirt, dress up. Not every day, but just show them who you are. First impressions will let them know you mean business." So that's not even off the table for those guys to be able to do that, because you are trying to impress. You want to be on your best behavior. That's number one. And number two, you need to be able to adjust. The same things that the practice started on Monday, 2 days ago for the Senior Bowl guys, the same mistakes you made Monday, the coaches don't want to see that on Wednesday. And the same mistakes you made on Wednesday, let it be brand new on Thursday, because they're looking to see what you can take from the classroom on the chalkboard to the practice field and make those adjustments, learn things on the fly. And then from the practice field, what are you going to do Saturday? I think it's at 2:30 when now it's live bullets. Now we can scout. So the game, yeah, it's a celebration. A game to me is always, let's show the fans, let's show our parents, let's show those people what we practiced on, how hard we worked. But these scouts are going to be looking at practices.
Did your stock go up or did your stock drop because of your Senior Bowl play?
Well, I think it
knowing that the practices are actually more important than the game.
I think it went up a tad bit. And the whole thing about it, I wasn't going to change my height at all, and they understood that height was always going to be an issue. But they wanted to see with me, was it the option? Was it some of those design runs? Can you drop back 7-step, 5-step out of the gun? Can you do those things, hitting that post route over the linebackers? Can a deep comeback, 18 back to 15? Those are the type of things I was able to do in one-on-ones and Pascal at the end of the game that I kind of went up. My stock went up a little bit. And that's what had me saying to those guys and all the scouts, because they have specific questions, Stu. They have specific questions for you. How do you see that linebacker right behind, your wide receiver right behind that linebacker? And that's where I came up with the phrase and came up with the thing I said that whole entire combine and Senior Bowl. I've always had to find lines to throw the ball through. I wasn't 6'3" and I shrunk to 5'10". I was always this size, so I always had to find lanes and make it happen and find a way to get the ball not tipped. So, and everybody had to find lanes. So, yes, the whole entire interview, Stu, the whole entire week is an interview that you have to be able to answer questions. And, oh, by the way, do something different. I don't mean idiotic. I don't mean Antonio Brown bringing attention to yourself. Right. What are you going to do that week to stand out and make those guys say, hey, who's that number 14?
My stock dropped.
Was it because of practice?
Yeah, it was because of practice, and Joe, it was because I wasn't as focused as I needed to be. Right, and the one-on-ones, every matchup down there was somebody that could get off that line. You trying to get that jam to press on my side, and you throw that jam up, and you're not used to being on that line of scrimmage, because I wasn't playing no press coverage in college.
Right.
I was a safety that played in the box, played half field, played quarter coverage, played the third. I wasn't getting on nobody's face and keeping them on the line.
Man.
So when I had to do that, when we didn't do that much in practice, it was like them cats was smoking me on the line of scrimmage. I wasn't touching them cats.
Yeah,
and it cost me.
I can imagine it costing you, and I can imagine anytime a slot receiver or maybe a tight end lined up on you, they were calling, the option route. Either you can go to the corner or you can go to the post. Get on your toes. And once they're on your toes, they have gotten you where they need you, and they're going to throw their hand
my
up.
ass alive.
And that's a good point for you to bring that up, Stu, because now these days with the kids worrying about a lot of different things as far as agency, how are you going to make money? They have to have their priorities in a row to know that my agent, I have to have somebody that connect me with I'm going out there and working towards the Senior Bowl. I'm working towards the combine, whether it's California, down in Miami, to where if I'm a safety, I have elite tight ends and elite slot receivers running routes on me before I get to where I'm doing it in front of scouts and when my job interview is on the line.
Yeah. Joe, this is very hurting. This is setting me back a little bit, because I'm about to transition and segue into some NBA stuff. Okay.
Yes.
And the only reason why I'm doing that is because high school football is done. College football is done. There's a champion. And there's one game left in the National Football League. As excited as we are about the Super Bowl being played next weekend, how discouraged are you? How hurt are you? How upset are you that the season has come and gone already?
Man, I'm hurt. I'm floored to be honest with you, and I'm confused. I'm confused still, and this is the reason why I'm confused, because that's not who I am. I'm a guy that enjoys basketball right after Christmas, especially the NBA.
Right.
The guys playing hard, who's leading the NBA in scoring, who's dominating the young and up and coming stars. Those guys that went out there and the game meant something this early in the season. And I'll be honest with you, it's an afterthought right now. And it's an afterthought now because I think we're getting a product we don't really appreciate. We're getting Jimmy Butler, acting up over there, down there in Miami. Jimmy, he's acting up, man. That's Pat Riley, man. That's Eric Spoelstra. Those guys, I'm not saying those guys are just the salt of the earth, but those guys, people used to want to go to Miami. People used to want to go and be under that culture. Now Jimmy's acting like this. What we don't know about the NBA now? Do we know about SGA? Leading the NBA and scoring. Sean, Gilgeous Alexander. Gilgeous Alexander. Do we know about it? What about the Joker? You know about the Joker averaging the triple-double? Some of those things. What about Wemby? Wemby's a generational star, man, that just went or spent 2 days.
Incredible.
2 days and 3 games. 3 days. 2 games in 3 days in Paris just because of Wemby. So what we are missing out, and I'm talking about me too, what I'm having to read about and forgetting about, the NBA is going all those different things. It's a shame now, and I think it's become a lot of yanking up threes. I think it's been a lot of hot dog street type ball and not really playing as hard right now as I'm accustomed to seeing.
Talking basketball, Joe, I know you watch basketball nightly. Why did Bronny James get as much time as he got the night before last?
Man.
Anthony Davis went down, but that ain't got nothing to do with Bronny James already being on the bench from the G League, because when they had him on the bench, they wasn't expecting Davis to get hurt. The Lakers in the 5th spot right now in the West. Bron is still a formidable player. Why did Bronny get that many minutes? Maxey busted his ass last night. Maxey licked his chops when he saw Bronny James on him last night. What are the Lakers doing?
JJ Redick and LeBron James, they're fortunate. They're fortunate today that, first of all, JJ Redick is the head coach and LeBron James is Bronny's dad. And the reason why I say they're fortunate is because I was going to say they sabotaged the young guy. If they weren't that close, if I didn't know better, I would say that LeBron James sabotaged his son. How do you put him in on a nationally televised game, first and foremost, in a game he wasn't suspected to be in, flying in from the G League? He wasn't prepared, and knowing that he really hadn't done anything in the NBA when he got called up to worthy any of that, he is in over his head. And I must say this now. He is doing a very, very fine job in the D League right now. He is getting better. Had 31, I think, 2 or 3 nights ago in the D League. He's doing exactly what he needs to do, develop.
He averaging 23, 6, and 5 in the G League.
And that's where he belongs, and he's not ready for big boy ball yet. That's all.
But he's 0 for 38.
Where?
No, not 0 for 38. That's not yeah.
What?
He's without a basket in 38 minutes played in the NBA, though.
He's not ready.
In big boy ball, he's got 30 minutes of time and ain't got a point for it.
This smells like to me.
Last night, LeBron personally dished him 2 wide open passes to get clean 3-pointers off that clanked the back of the rim. Boom, boom. I just kept saying, because I watched the whole game last night. I just kept saying,
Hey.
the Lakers in the 5th position. The Lakers right now, then on a 6-game road trip. The Lakers on a back-to-back. Why is Bronny getting all this time and stinking it up and getting exposed by Maxey? Why are the Lakers doing this?
It's almost like, Stu, hey, you'll get this. You'll
like
feel
he's not
this.
trying to win.
It's almost like Bronny James at home with the conversation with his dad. He was begging. He was crying. I mean, he was falling and wallowing on the football. Wallowing on the floor. Dad, I'm ready. I can play. And LeBron just told Coach Redick, to say, all right, young guy think he can play. He think he's ready. He think he's smelling himself a little bit. Put him in there. Go ahead and put him in there. It's almost like they were trying to prove to Bronny that he's not ready, man. That's the only way I can see or explain to you why Bronny James was in that game last night.
Okay. And we're going to move on, Joe. But real quick, they in the 5th spot in the West. Can they do this? Can they afford to not win games? Can look, man, Quincy Olivari, who played the beginning of the year and has since been released and not with LA no more, not even in the G League. Quincy's a much better player than Bronny and was on the same roster with Bronny. So they saw it in practice. They saw it in the G League.
You see, I don't have a problem with all that. No, I don't have a problem. No, see, Stu, that's not realizing what it's all about. It's still all about nepotism now. So, I mean, that's not, it's still all about that. I mean, it seems like you would be telling me this. I would be the guy thinking about how you're thinking about it. No, he's not better than overall. He doesn't bring more to the table than Bronny James. If you just look basketball-wise, yes, you're correct. But that's not how it works, man. That's just not how it works.
You're talking about the economics of the game.
Yes, and I'm talking about why Bronny now got called up, why he's a thing. Bronny James should not be a thing in the NBA right now. We should not be talking about him. He shouldn't have been on SportsCenter last night and said Bronny James got in the game and he went over and Tyrese Maxey, just cooked him. I mean, he cooked him.
Man.
He was in a bad situation, and why was he in that situation is my question.
I understand, Joe. Hey, man, outstanding job tonight, man. You know what time it is, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's time for us to jump in the huddle, man, and get some words of wisdom from Coach Joe Ham, man.
You know what, Stu, man? This is something, man, I'm growing at, and I'm loving where I'm at as far as forgiveness. Forgiveness has been a word on my mind. Forgiveness is something that I've been dealing with, and the main culprit is me. When I found out the main culprit is me, why I talk down to myself, why I don't uplift myself, why I have down days, remembering the past, sometimes feel that you're not worthy, you're not good enough, is because I hadn't forgiven myself enough. I haven't truly forgiven myself and looked in the mirror and gave myself grace and mercy that I explain or I try to tell everybody else to do. I'm quick to say, hey, man, God bless, man. You're full of mercy. You have a lot of grace, man. You got grace for everything. You all right, man. Pick yourself up. I don't tell myself that. So if I can say any words of wisdom when I huddle up with you guys tonight, man, it's just that forgive yourself. Learn the heart, the fruit of forgiveness, whether somebody for something petty, something big. And that starts off, my goodness, it starts off with forgiving yourself for whatever that's bringing you down, man. Let go of the past, man. Forgive yourself. Pick yourself up and move on. And I'm learning that day by day.
We can't help but be human, man. And the devil, he be riding hard too now. We God's God.
He's a hard worker.
Squatters and we believe, right. But the devil, he's a real thing too, okay? And he's the one that will remind you and reiterate over and over and over, hey, you did wrong.
My goodness.
So-and-so.
Yes,
you
sir.
should have done so-and-so. Hey, man, I mean, how you feel right now about the way you lusted over so-and-so?
Yes, sir.
I mean, we got to get to the point where we understand that is him doing that, but that he is greater. He really is greater to the point where he don't want us holding on to that negative and that bad. He's like, hey, you already asked for forgiveness. I blessed you with it and gave it to you. And that's what the blood is for. You're good, man. Keep on going. You're good.
There you go.
That's
there you
him.
go.
But the devil fighting you, though. He fighting.
And the devil fighting you, and that's the thing about the devil's fight, is with the man in the mirror and the guy that brushes his teeth. See, he's with you everywhere you go. And I liken it to the old grade school, the kindergarten analogy, Stu. There's an angel on one shoulder, and there's a devil, Lucifer, on the right shoulder. Whose voice are you hearing? Whose voice are you hearing? Because one thing about it, that inner critic and the man in the mirror, that voice you're talking about, it's not going anywhere. You can talk to a 90-year-old pastor that's living a saint and have a godly fear, God-fearing life, living nice. That inner man is still talking to him. Lucifer doing some things. The guy is a full hard worker.
Lucifer doing some things.
Hey, he's real. He's real, man. I had to give credit to Lucifer when we were just dealing with some setbacks, dealing with that alcohol, Stu, dealing with it. I had to give Lucifer some credit. Hey, man, you won this one. You got it, brother. You got it, man. I mean, listen.
Hey, man.
Hey, your show, man. Your show, Luce. And Lucifer.
Loose. Listen, you 117 days strong right now, though. You 117 days strong.
And that's what I tell him. That's what I tell him when I chop it up with him. I chop it up with him. I say, Lucifer, man, it's been good times, man. I let go of you. I can look back and say, I'm 117 days strong, and you made me this stronger, Lou. Yeah. Lucifer, I call him Lou and Lucifer because I want to know you were my boy, brother. You had control of me, but I'm back, Stu. I'm back, man. I feel good to be back too, man. So, but it all started, Stu. It really did for everybody who's listening. Me forgiving myself and be easy to forgive, no matter what. Myself, somebody else, throw my hand up. I'm wrong. Beg for forgiveness or ask for forgiveness. Forgiveness is a power or a superhero or a superpower for me, brother.
No doubt, man. Outstanding job, Hammy.
Yes, sir, man. I'm telling you, we did it again.
Outstanding job, man.
We did it again, brother.
Hey, we did it again. Just that quick. So we got another In the Huddle with Joe Ham next Wednesday, so we can talk about the Super Bowl. We'll break that down for sure. Who you liking, who you don't like. We'll talk about all the matchups. We'll talk about any injuries that may have happened during the week. We'll talk about any drama that may have happened during the week. There'll be a DUI. There'll be a disgruntled wife someplace. Something to happen, okay, while they're down in Louisiana. Something to happen.
We'll get a storyline. Yes, absolutely,
we'll
brother.
But everybody in the chat room, man, thank y'all. Thank y'all very much. Yeah, y'all are important, man. As a matter of fact, I said I would read a couple.
Yeah, you did read a couple, man. You got time.
I read a couple. Joe was hell on the basketball court too. I told him fly tie. Yeah, he was a real hooper too.
Man, love the game of basketball.
One of my favorite Joe Ham stories is when him and CJ played one-on-one in the sack at Georgia Tech. Him and CJ Williams. Yeah, that's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah.
Loose neck, right on. I want some money on that bet. The Georgia boys was behind their guy, CJ. The South Carolina boys was behind their guy, Joe Hale.
Hey, I always look forward to looking to guys or playing guys that were kind of like pretty guys, like stylish guys. No, I'm down and dirty,
You're Mohican.
Man.
You're Mohican.
No doubt about it, man. And Gullah Geechee.
Loose neck right on side says Jalen Hurts getting benched at Bama was the best thing that happened to him. He got to a U under Lincoln Riley and opened up his game. Nothing but respect for him. I agree. I agree.
Oh, absolutely. But again, is he a running quarterback? When you say run first.
Right. That's it. Romario Hurd. Ding, ding, ding. It's the quarterbacks. You either him or trying to become him. Most guys never really get to be him unless they become him.
Man. That's
now he's speaking in code, and that's straight Ubonic vernacular. But I know exactly what he's saying. I get what he's saying.
He's saying that Josh.
Everybody
Allen
wants to be him.
He's saying that Josh Allen is Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. That's it.
Hey, is Patrick Mahomes better than Tom Brady right now? Than Tom Brady
Not
ever
right
was?
now. I'm from your school. I can't. Oh, better than he ever was. When he pull, yes. If he pulls this off, no, that's another.
A three-peat.
Yeah, that's something Tom has never done. Come on now. I mean, are we going to have to say this? Are we going to have to say this, dude? We're going to have to say
So
that.
in your eyes, Tom is not going to be able to hold over his head forever that when he was in Tampa on his last hurrah, he beat Mahomes. Tom is not going to be able to hold that over Patrick's head.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
Okay.
Yes, he will.
All right.
Yes, he will.
Okay.
And that's my next argument, Stu, would be that are we saying that Tom Brady would always be the GOAT because he has 7, and until somebody catches 7, that we cannot say nothing? Because as soon as Tom Brady passed Joe Montana, I still had Joe Montana for a couple more years before Tom took over, because I wasn't going to let Joe Montana, his 4 championships, never losing any, and no interceptions, throwing any Super Bowls. But Tom did take over that. So I think Patrick Mahomes can take it over, brother.
In their primes, and I don't know if we've seen Mahomes' prime yet, in their prime, give me Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
he's a much better option than Tom Brady. Tom Brady was a statue in that thing. He was a statue.
I really don't like the way you said much better.
He got out of there and moved the pocket. He got out of there from time to time. But no, man, what Patrick Mahomes does, it can run circles around Tom Brady, man.
Yeah.
Mahomes is literally, he's dual threat.
Yeah.
There are running plays called for him.
Yeah, you cannot do that with Tom Brady.
Oh, man.
You cannot do that with Tom Brady. Yeah, I have a hard time disagreeing with that, Stu. But remember, the only thing I would say about that Tom Brady's athleticism comes from his mind. His called run plays and to be able to maneuver outside of the pocket, he makes that up with his mind and his IQ. That's all I can say. That's the only thing I can say about that.
Romario Hurd, Joe, you are a huge inspiration to quarterbacks your size with a hope and a prayer. You don't even know, my brother. Folk dreamed of walking in your shoes on God. Doug and I talked about it yesterday. Hey, Ollie, I see Ollie back in the green room. I might bring her up to say hey, so be prepared to say hey, Ollie. She's like, no. In today's game, if Sean Jones, Charlie Ward, and the likes of you, Joe Hamilton, were on the board coming out of college, y'all would be top 10 picks. No question, period.
Yeah. And see, all the guys you called out, including myself, what was was taken for granted was that we were reading coverages, man. We were manipulating coverages.
Right.
We were calling audibles. We were resetting protection.
Changing plays. Right. Y'all were,
it was just the
Friesen, one of the best college offensive coordinators ever, gave you the keys to the offense. If you see this or don't see that or don't like this or don't like that, change it.
For a long time, every time I talk to Coach Dungy, maybe we get Coach Dungy on here down the line in the future.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Every time he talked to me about his experience, which wasn't long or a lot of interaction, but he was always say, Joe, you impressed me how you picked up our playbook so fast. And I have to give credit to studying and knowing the game, but also Coach Friesen, that he had really pro type concepts, pro routes, pro protections, pro depth on your routes as far as 20 back down to 18, big boy throws. So that prepared me a lot, man. Just football and the whole sports thing, man. I'm blessed, brother. That's all I can say.
The great Ollie Michelle. You will see her tomorrow morning, late in the first hour of the Two Last Tues experience. She will be doing the entertainment report, bringing you birthdays, bringing you a few stories, and just probably being interrupted by Doug. Ollie said, that's a blessing. Remind yourself daily that you just conquered the day. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. 117 days strong, 117 days of sobriety. You smiling like it means something, Joe. You smiling like it means something, Joe. Huh?
Man, I'm smiling like when I look in the mirror, man, I'm seeing Jesus.
Right.
I'm saying,
Hey man, I'm not going to. I hadn't asked for permission to tell the story, so I won't tell the story. But I'll say, I came to your house to watch a Georgia Tech football game, and the Joe I saw then and the Joe now is like, I mean, you've got this new blood running through you. It's like, man, it's like, I mean, it's exciting, man. I'm really proud of you, man.
Yeah, man.
It's really proud of you, man.
Hey, check this out, man. Shout out to Ryan Stewart too, man, because him and a few others, man, stuck that arm down there, man. Reach your brother up out of the ditch. hey, and that's what it's all about. It's about a community, man. It's all about a community, my brother.
It was a mini intervention, man. It was a mini intervention, man. 5 or 6 dudes that really love you pulled up on you like, hey, man, what you doing, man? What you gonna do? Come on, man. But no, you wanted it more than anything, man, and that's why you were yard with the 117 days, man. You wanted it more than anything, man.
Yeah, man, it's a purpose for it all, man. And I'm living through it. And listen, I would say this, man. I have wronged no man.
Yep, dig it.
I have wronged no man. Paul had the audacity to say that when he was going through, he's going to persecute guys. Yep. He said he's wronged no. So my past, why I said that, the past, what I've done, all that looking back and condemning and shame and guilt, man, that's spilt milk, man.
Spilt milk. Spilt milk. Hey, man, let's bring Arlie in so she can say hey to everybody. Hey, Arlie.
Arlie.
What's up?
What's happening?
Y'all won't believe what I just did. I just had to blow my nose, and I picked up what I thought was like a wet wipe so it wouldn't hurt so bad.
Oh,
and I looked on the side. This sucker said, clean the kitchen, clean the bed. I was like, my nose is burning. My nose is burning. So my nose, in the morning when y'all see me on the show and it's red, look at this. What was I thinking?
My goodness.
Goofy people. But anyway,
listen, man.
Great. Once don't. Yeah, my face like it's on fire right now. and you know it's already raw from blowing it, so it was like I touched. I was like, ah!
Oh,
I'd already done.
Wow. Oh, that's terrible. I really hate that. I have done that before too. I have wiped my mouth. I was wiping the counter, cleaning the counters. I just done the dishes. I was wiping the counters off, and I grabbed my phone and did something blase, and I started eating some of the chips, and then I dropped something. I picked it up, and then I turned around and I grabbed the thing that I was cleaning the counter with, and wiped the chips off my mouth, and I was like,
"Oh man,
what is happening?" I don't
like,
yeah, but y'all had a great show tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Shouts out to you.
The no-show was pretty good too, Ollie. The no-show was pretty good too.
Yep, me and I didn't fight as much.
Oh, I'm about to bring you in, Drea. What up, Drea?
I think he frozen. Not to be in there frozen.
Oh, he might be frozen. Let's get him out of here.
He frozen.
Yeah, y'all did good today, and he be trying to get under your skin, but you didn't let it go down today. You're doing a much better job of resistance.
Are you a patient person, Arlie?
No.
No. Oh. No. Is your skin easy to get under?
No. I don't know I'm one of those. Okay, so I think in for example, for fight or flight, like I'm one of those people. I used to tell my son all the time, okay, if I get to the 3rd time, I'm swinging on you. So be paying. If I say, hey, son, and he goes, he knows now as he's grown through, learned his mother, Mom, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What did you say? Because if I'm telling you something, man, you like, oh, you talking to me? I'm winning.
Hey, that's interesting because I'm a flight dude. I'm gone.
Yeah,
I'm always saying I want to get home. And you call me names all you want to call me. Once I'm home, you can say I'm a punk. You can say I'm gone.
I want to fight. I want to show you.
I want to show you. Dogs coming after me, I'm like, and it's not the literal fight, but it's like if something's happening and you got to make a quick decision, I'm like, okay, this dog is running at me. What am I gonna pick up? Like I'm one of them. I'm like, I'm not that person.
No, I'm the dude that's gonna charge the dog.
Right.
I'm the dude that's gonna charge the dog. Like, you coming for me? You coming for me? I just it's terrible. It's so terrible.
It is.
My daughter has changed that. My daughter is the reason why. Back in the past, when I didn't think about getting home. My daughter's the reason why I'm like, man, I gotta get to the crib. You can't fight that dog tonight. You can't wrestle that gator.
Not
don't outrun. Just pull to the side. Don't outrun these police tonight.
I want to get home. I want to get home.
I want to get home. I gotta get home. Arlie, thank you for pulling up on us. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. Joe, outstanding job tonight, man. It's your boy, One Last Dude, Joe Ham. This is In the Huddle with Joe Ham. We're done tonight, man. Thank y'all so very much. I need to remind y'all, please pass the word. I keep talking to people on social media and seeing people in these streets, and people keep texting like, man, when did y'all get back? What? It's been a year. It's been a freaking year. So, yeah, y'all pull up, man, and pass the word on your boys, man. A+ for everybody in the chat room. A+ for you, Joe Ham. Outstanding job. A+ for Ollie for pulling up. A+ for the Naughty Dread. We really appreciate you, Dread. And we will see y'all next week for another edition of In the Huddle with Joe Ham and your boy One Live Stu. Peace.